The celebrated director of Hollywood Westerns, John Ford, was in a restaurant in Hollywood with a group of mainly male friends, and into the restaurant came a man named Brian Desmond Hurst. And someone said to John Ford, "Oh, that's your cousin, isn't it?" And John Ford said, "Yes, let's invite him over to the table." And somebody said, "But he's queer, isn't he?" And John Ford said, "Well, who hasn't got a queer cousin?" That was back in the 1930s. But in the 1970s, I had just joined a newspaper in London called Gay News, which was billed as the world's largest newspaper for homosexuals. I'd only been there a couple of weeks. Only one issue had been published with anything by me in it, and I remember it had an interview with Angela Baddeley, who played the cook in Upstairs, Downstairs. Unfortunately, it was to be her last interview because she died a couple of nights after I interviewed her, so it was a posthumous interview. And the phone rang in the office, and this young man said, "Hello, Keith, I'm your cousin, Timothy." And lo and behold, Timothy had read Gay News, which in those days pretty much meant that if you read Gay News, you were somewhat involved in the world of homosexuality. And he was an actor. He was a young man. He just started his acting career. He was appearing in a production in a London suburb. He asked me to come down to see him and to meet him, which I did. Didn't get much chance to talk to him after the show because I think he was rather romantically involved with one of the people in the company, the director, I think it was. And I haven't seen him since, but he's alive and well, and he was a delightful young man. But it just got me thinking, remembering back to that extraordinary phone call, you know, of all the people in the world to have read my interview with Angela Baddeley should have been my own cousin Timothy. And it just struck me, you know, that cousins are a wonderful source of homosexuality, aren't they? Because we don't just have first cousins, we have second cousins, and third cousins. I've got so many cousins that I could populate East Ham with my cousins. The great thing about cousinhood is that it doesn't come with ribbons and bells and all sorts of baggage. Cousins are really cool, and I think I can say that word without fear of favour. They are cool because they are detached. Attached, but yet detached. Nearly everybody has a cousin, and lots of us have many, many cousins, and I would suggest, just on the law of averages, that one or two of those cousins is going to be of a slightly sexually diverse nature. So, homophobes, so rigid minds, so non-free thinkers, get used to it. Doesn't everyone have a gay cousin?